Pull up a stool and pour yourself a pint as you're about to join three intrepid drinkers, Kevin, Justin, and Mark, as they embark on another beer-tastic voyage.
Hi everybody, and welcome to another beer-tastic voyage. And while despite the weather outside being frightful, it is delightful in here, as it is our holiday New Year extravaganza.
And what's your name?
My name's Kevin.
How are you?
My name is Mark.
And my name is Justin.
Hi, Justin.
And I fucking love
Mucho
Black
gusto.
Friday.
And that is the name of it, and that's the real name of it. It is Black Friday. This is the only Black Friday in my heart.
Yes.
So last year, for our New Year's extravaganza, we got wasted
Oh, we were fucked.
in Justin's basement on an assortment of barley wine and other really high alcohol beers.
Yes, that was our special release edition.
Yeah, what the hell was the third? We drank Black Friday 42, and what was the third?
The barrel-aged Boris from there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
And that was, I don't think I could leave your house for like a good 2 or 3 hours like after that one.
We recorded another episode after that.
Yeah, we did.
And,
And it was basically gibberish.
yeah, it's basically like listening just... What do you rate this one? Yeah. I think we have improved over our extravaganza from last year.
I think so.
And I know we talked about it on that episode that we really wanted to do a vertical Black Friday.
That is true.
And we put it together.
We made it happen.
We have a legit vertical Black Friday. We have 2015.
2016,
which is one of the ones we had on that extravaganza. So we get to compare our ratings here after a year.
Okay.
We have the latest 2017 in a can.
And a special, deep from the cellar, deep cut here.
2015 barrel-aged Black Friday. So
It's gonna be good.
this is
This is gonna be good. But we did pour them out all four together. We brought out some little cocktail cups here
Yes.
to.
I felt it important for us to have all four of them in front of us to be able to jump back and forth in rapid succession.
I think
Yes.
that's important.
So if we're going to talk about visuals right now, and we'll try to take a bunch of pictures so everybody can sort of see this. Color-wise of the beer, I think they're pretty much all the same.
They're all black opaque.
Black opaque.
Absolutely, they all look. I'm going to say this a few times, but I want to do the clap. I did it.
So, some of the differences, the head on 15 and 16 were basically the same.
But 16 is super persistent.
Yeah, it is clung to the side of my glass.
And I believe Mark got a picture of it. That there's one with a bottle cap just hanging out there.
Yeah, I floated a cap on it with
You
these.
do that, that's awesome. 17 was dark.
But
it was much darker.
noticeably darker from the previous 2 years.
But that was similar to the barrel age color, which was also markedly darker than the 15 or 16.
Yes. So, do you guys just want to start with 15?
I was actually thinking that we work the other direction, work our way
Start
back
at 17 and go
to
back.
see the base and then kind of see how it changed.
So, okay, so aging wise, and that one thing we don't know, I'm assuming that the grain bills are fairly identical from year to year, but we don't know that answer. So
It is my understanding that the grain bill does vary from year to year,
Right.
to a certain extent.
well, yeah, they're using so much grain, I imagine, what can they get?
My only knowledge of the grain bill is,
If
quote,
the mash tun
it's
is
as
full.
much grain as we can force into the mash tun.
Right,
That's my only knowledge of it, and that is direct from them.
right.
Okay, so yeah, I like that idea. So we're going to go 17, 16, 15, and then we'll go to the barrel age.
I think that's a good way to go.
Yes.
Well, especially considering doing the 15 and the 15 barrel age next to each other makes sense too.
There you go.
So okay, I have had 17. I had it, as per our tradition, well, sort of.
Justin acts as my mule.
Yes,
Justin is a beer mule.
my wife and myself procure the Black Friday. Typically, I would be in Foxwoods or Mohegan Sun gambling. It's been that way, I think, for damn close to 10 years. But this year it changed. A bunch of people moved away.
Well, and you also stabbed yourself.
Yeah. But a bunch of people moved away, and I went shopping with my wife at Tanger, which was way more enjoyable than I envisioned. But what made it enjoyable
on Black Friday?
Yeah.
And you didn't murder anybody?
No, but we went to Long Island when they opened at 9.
Then you went shopping.
Yes.
That's why you didn't murder people.
I
He
had
was properly
lubricated.
So let me just explain. People who don't know, obviously it's called Black Friday. Well, we'll get to that, but it's typically called Black Friday.
because it is released on Black Friday.
Yes, and
Gotcha.
they make waffles with this
They
beer.
make dope waffles with beer in the batter, and they also candy bacon.
Oh god damn it!
Love candy bacon.
And they have vanilla ice cream.
Right.
So
So you get the waffle, you get the candy bacon, you get the vanilla ice cream, and then they have maple syrup there for good measure if you just want even more.
and the candy bacon is in maple syrup.
Right.
So
Right.
it's-
That's how you do. Yeah.
That's why-
Oh, really? I thought. Yeah.
So-
yeah.
I mean, you can candy bacon with other sugar.
Right.
Yeah,
Possible.
in the past when I've done it with a mix of maple sugar and maple syrup and brown sugar,
That makes way more sense than just
and
using
just
sugar.
and just a little bit of water just to get it all to liquefy it enough so that I can mix it,
Right.
and then
cut
Yeah.
off the excess.
yeah, and then the water evaporates and it becomes this delicious, glistening treat from the gods.
Yes. And this year, our buddy Wizard was the one behind the scenes making the waffles. It was nice to show up, and I looked through the window out into the brew room where they're making the waffles, and I just see Wizard and his family, and I'm like, hi.
Yeah, I believe we've established the fact that Justin can no longer go to any brewery without seeing Wizard.
Yes, it's unreal.
Kudos
But,
to Wizard, he's a good guy.
that was a great way to start the day, and the special thing for me that day, other than being able to have the Black Friday 2017 right off the tap,
Right.
was that we got to have, I got to have the 2013 Whiskey Barrel Black Friday,
Ooh.
which was insane.
Yeah, that's one of the nice things that they, in addition to the waffles as part
Right.
of the release party, they always pull out like some reserve kegs of previous years that they've just been sitting on specifically for, that,
For that
the
event.
current year's release party.
That is really cool. I unfortunately have not ever been able to make my way out to.
I've only been to it once, and that was, 4 years ago now when my
Yeah.
wife was pregnant with my daughter.
Right. And I know we said Stephanie a few years.
Yes, that was typically the mule.
Right. And you get to go, but I would really like to get out there at some point for that event. But what I really, really want to do is start drinking these because they're staring at me. And
Okay,
they're
go ahead.
Calling into my soul.
Why don't you guys?
Oh, I already sampled 17.
Why don't you guys smell and sample 17? I'm going to hit on something really quick. We're not going to spend a lot of time on it because it's not that important. But apparently the beer can no longer be called Black Friday. There's an issue with the name and the trademark, and because I don't know all the details, I'm not going to read a Facebook post and pretend that I do. What I am going to say is it was canned this year in 2017 rather than bottles, and the label is black and it says Friday. And I think that's how it should be from now on. If it can't be called Black Friday, I think this label is perfect. I like the idea. I prefer it go back to being in a bottle, but other than that, I'm in. Let's just keep doing this.
But honestly, next year,
I'm touching myself. That's what I'm doing right now. I want you to know that's what's happening. I'm just touching myself.
next year I will be very upset if they don't call it next Friday.
Why? You just a huge Dr. Dre fan?
No, but I think it's a missed opportunity if they don't.
Yes, I think next Friday is a good idea as well. But
I think Friday after next would be
Night
just
play.
outright.
Yes, if anybody wants any more details, you can go to Long Ireland's Facebook page. They made a post about it. But I feel like being that we're doing this, we may as well mention it and go buy this beer.
Man,
It's
it's
good.
the nose on it is deliciously roasty. It is,
It's very strongly roast, yeah.
it smells like a deep coffee roast, like a nice dark roast coffee with you can smell the dark chocolate in there, notes of like that really darkly roasted malt, and
Do we know how strong this year's version is?
I could wear this as if they made this
I
into
don't
a
see it on the can label.
If they made this into a cologne, I would wear this. I don't wear cologne, but I would wear this as like my musk. I wish this is what I smell like.
I agree. I like the roast. The roast follows through in the flavor. It's a nice fresh stout. And it's if you say black coffee,
Right.
I think this is a fine black coffee. Like
Yeah.
I've had black coffee a couple of times in my life. I would like to like coffee. I think at some point I'll travel down that road.
Right.
But if I could find a coffee that tasted like this,
Yeah.
you could probably not stop me from drinking.
I will say, if you get some of the better Italian roast coffees, this is what they taste like.
Oh yeah.
Like if you actually get like a one of those ones that's absurdly expensive. We used to do. I worked for Williams-Sonoma for a little while,
Right,
so we used to do samplings of them on occasion of some of the ones that we would sell in that kind of store. You know, $12 a pound, $15, $17 a pound coffee, which I think is absolutely absurd for coffee.
Agreed.
But they are so smooth in the roast and so full in the flavor of it that you don't want coffee or you don't want cream or sugar in there. Like you just want the black coffee.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
that's what these taste like.
my brother turned me on to it, and it's what I've been drinking of late. But the Folgers Black Silk Coffee
Okay.
is pretty darn good.
I haven't tried that one yet, but I was on a kick of Bustelo, Chefe
It's
Bustelo, just because it's pretty cheap.
the classic.
It's pretty cheap and it's really good. So coffee aside,
Yes.
I think tasting this one, it definitely reminds me of every other time that I've had Black Friday. It's delicious and I love it. But thinking of how beers age, I can taste almost a little bite at the end of it that I'm thinking might disappear as it's hung out for a little while.
I agree with you.
For sure. I mean, anytime you have an Imperial Stout, they always sort of say that's like a traditional beer that you would age. And I think that's one of the reasons is those flavors definitely mellow and you end up with some people say plum or stone fruit and stuff. It depends upon how the oxidation affects everything, which is why it's interesting to me that this year's is in a can. Because you could hang on to this for years.
Right.
And it's probably not going to change very much.
Right.
Which is totally fine. I mean, obviously someone like me, I like aging and I like finding out how they go. So it fits right into our article, which is fine, which is good. But the quote unquote base, the fresh one, is still super drinkable and really good.
I think you mentioned that before, just you kind of said it was a young stout.
Yes.
And that's exactly what it is. It having had more beers that have been aged and hung around for a while now, I do see this tasting that way, but it's still delightful. It absolutely is delightful.
Oh yeah, it's the only thing that I can say is that if strong roast is not your thing, then you're not really going to find at least
An Imperial Stout is a thing.
Well, yeah, but you can have like Boris the Spider isn't this strongly roast.
Okay. Yeah, I suppose so.
So, that's all. But, so maybe that's not the best starting point. But I'm going to travel back in time now 1 year.
So while Mark is sampling that, I can say the 2016, again, this one we had in a bottle. This was purchased Black Friday last year. I know because my wife was there getting it, again, being our mule.
It's been hanging out on my wine rack I have a wine rack. It has 2 bottles of wine and the rest is beer.
As it should.
So on the Long Island website, they have the information. They show the picture of 2016. I'm assuming that it's similar. And the ingredients listed, they actually have the grist on here is English pale malt, caramel malts, flaked oats, wheat, chocolate malt, and the hops are Magnum and Willamette. Willamette. So what do you guys?
I'm just amazed that it's been a good 10 minutes and the hen's still there.
Oh my God! It's clung. Like if I poured this out right now in a bucket, the whole inside of it is going to be still laced.
Oh yeah.
So how do we compare the aroma and the flavor there?
The aroma seems very, very similar. I'm not picking up a lot of difference in the aroma.
It's not as.
But you guys are in better nasal shape than me.
It's still roast is still the prominent note on the aroma, but it is not as strong as this year's.
Yes, I agree.
The flavor is much more rounded. It's still roasty, but it's not as
less coffee flavor to it.
Yeah, and it's not as it doesn't have as much of a bite.
Right, that bite has kind of gone away. There's a little bit more chocolatiness to this.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, the persistent head gives it a really much creamier mouthfeel. You alright there?
Yeah, I'm getting almost an acidic quality on mine.
I didn't get a shot.
Yeah. It might be a little bit of roast though, so I should probably cleanse my palate a little bit because I'm getting roast on roast on roast. But
All right, I can see what you mean, but that might just be some.
like at first I thought it was plum.
It might just be some, roast astringency. But
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe that I'm getting. We're gonna drink 4 Russian Imperial Stouts back to back. They're similar, so they could be the roast could just be stacking.
why are you using that mug?
I don't know. I have no idea. Really, to be honest with you, I don't know where it came from.
I honestly, I wouldn't drink out of that.
Okay, that's a good plan. I just grabbed a random
glassware.
a random vessel on the table that I know was sitting there when I got down here, and I have a glass, so that was pretty dumb.
I like this one. I really like how it's smoothed out and rounded out. Round is the right word for it, Mark. That the flavors have blended a little bit and they've started to become a little bit more smooth throughout.
Yeah,
I don't really pick up the acidity that Justin was talking about.
Yeah,
I get it.
I
I get it on the.
You still get it?
I get it towards the finish.
All right, I'm gonna go one more time here to see if I get it, but I didn't get it the first 2 times.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I
I
don't know.
think it's more of an astringent quality than possible infection, because given the age of it and if it was an infection, like I would expect much more carbonation.
Yeah.
I would expect, given the fact that it's over a year old now, that there would
Probably be chunky when I came out, right?
well, not necessarily that, but I would expect a much stronger acidity.
Yeah.
If it was in fact.
Yeah, well, especially with the age on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're right. You would expect it to be more, but yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm definitely the outlier in terms of finding the acidity. But it could also, I mean, at first when I smelled it, I thought it was more of a plum, smell from oxidation. But which is, in this case, when you're aging something, for anybody who's just to throw this out there, when you're aging a beer, what you're really doing is allowing it to oxidize minorly, because there's a little bit of gas exchange underneath the cap, and that's basically what's causing the quote-unquote aging.
Right.
A lot of times you'll hear people say that oxidation from beer is bad, but when you're trying to age one, you're doing it on purpose slowly, and that's why aging is dicey, because you could keep a beer in there for a little bit too long, kind of like our champagne showers experiment.
Yeah.
and it's not a bad beer, but we let it go a little too long.
Right.
So there's definitely a sweet spot, but it depends beer to beer.
Agreed. I think it's I kind of like it. I think it's a good example, and I'm looking forward to moving on to the next one, which I see you guys have already, and I'm seeing some faces, which I can't tell if you're enjoying it or not.
Yeah, I can't tell either.
I definitely get a lot more assertive acidity
Yeah, me too.
in the 15.
All right, well, let me try this one.
It's not that it's unenjoyable. It's just not what I expected.
Right.
Yeah, okay, I definitely taste acid in this one.
Yeah.
I would say that this one might have been hung on to a little too long.
Yes.
I will say also that my white rack is not the optimal cellaring for location
Right.
and environment, but I've had other beers that have hung on in there for a little while that have been perfectly fine. So, but this one might have hung on a little too long.
We're also talking about a 2-year-old beer, so.
Right.
And acidity is not going to develop from temperature alone.
Right.
I mean, I don't even know that temperature would play a factor at all. It's really more. I mean, is there something in there to infect it? I mean, the acid. I mean, again, I could definitely be wrong, but I think that the only way you're getting acid is with an infection. I don't think that it doesn't taste infected to me. It just tastes. It could be over oxidized. It could be oxidized to the point where we're getting that.
I think oxidation is going to. I don't think oxidation can create acidity on its own. There may just be a small population of Brett in the beer,
Maybe.
which has produced low levels of acidity over the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Anytime you age a beer, it's going to be a little dicey in terms of what you're going to get.
Because Brett,
I don't think it's completely unpleasant though. Stuff.
No. I'm going to drink it.
Yeah. I just did that because I mentioned that just because I don't want to give the impression that we think it's bad. It's definitely an interesting way that it ages. I feel like this might be a, maybe 1 year might be the cap as how far we want to hang on to one of these, and but you've got a little bit better conditions to keep the beers in. Maybe, a 2-year beer that's just, I don't know.
Well, what's interesting is that maybe, we're not going to record today, obviously, but I have a 2016 that we're probably going to drink on Christmas Eve.
Right.
So maybe we'll bounce and do a quick recording of that as a follow-up. We'll put that out on social media. I'll link to it in the show notes, just to see whether or not it was condition-based or bottle-based or whatever it was. Maybe that one aged differently, because that one has been, for lack of a better word, hermetically sealed for the last year. It's been in there, but no, it's definitely not unenjoyable. I'm more than happy to finish the bottle if anybody won't fight me for it. Our final one here is the 2015. This is the Whiskey Barrel Aged Black Friday. Mark and I went down for the release of this last February, and this has been in the same hermetically sealed refrigerator at 55 degrees since then. So we'll see what this is like.
See, the aroma on this one is much sweeter.
Absolutely. You get the barrel scent from there.
Yeah, definitely.
Also,
vanilla notes from the barrel.
Yeah, the surface of it has a little bit of a little more sheen to it as well.
Yes,
I still have a thick, or not necessarily.
But there's
thick,
still a present head, yeah.
Yeah, over the whole of my glass.
What's interesting to me is, I mean, obviously it's been since last February since I've had this, but the barrel, damn son, the whiskey in the barrel is there.
This also has a bit of tartness in it as well.
Same thing. So I mean, again, being that now we have a 2015 that's been in a whiskey barrel that obviously it's been even an additional almost year.
Right.
And we have a 2015. They're similar in that regard as far as the aging goes. So I think you're right. I think a year might be the right number for this one.
Yeah, I think probably I would be interested now. Of course, I want to hone in. I'm like, I need 6 months and 9 months. Like to know exactly how long it. I know, Justin, you want the same thing. You want to know how many weeks it needs to sit in there and be like, it's this week. Like, this is the sweet spot.
Well, just to the level of neuroses that I have.
Right.
I have 24 bourbon 2017 bourbon barrels now. Bourbon County Stout from.
You have 4 of them?
24.
24.
24. Yeah. Problems. So, we're going to be experimenting a little bit. Mark is just shaking his head over here.
Oh man.
Yeah, I have a refrigerator shelf of Bourbon County.
That seems excessive.
Well, some of them were gifts. Some of them were going in and out of Costco several times during the same
How
trip.
many did you purchase for your own intent?
16.
Okay.
That seems excessive.
Still seems a little.
Yeah, a little bit. So for the record, the reason why is because I was at Costco, and it was $8.80 for a bottle, which is not half price, but pretty close.
Yeah.
And there was a limit of 6, so I was like, hey,
I'm gonna get 6.
Wife, take 6 of those. I'm gonna go on this other wine with the other 6.
Yeah.
I had already bought some. That's what happened. I don't know. It's a problem. I have a problem. Stop looking at me like that. Mark's judging me right now. It's fucked up.
So they're judging on it.
Jesus Christ.
But back to the beers themselves. I think you do pick up that same kind of acidity that you get in the 15, in the bourbon, in the barrel 15. You kind of see it. So I think maybe that is just the aging process of this grain bill.
Yeah, I can't imagine that that's not. Again,
right.
They're too similar in two completely different environments.
Right. So that makes me feel better about how the conditions that I kept them in.
Me too.
But I still think that, while 2017 is fantastic and supremely drinkable, I think 16 kind of is like that sweet spot beer for me. that it's got there's that little bit of softness to it to smooth it out, and it's really, really still delicious.
Yeah, it's going from 15 to 16. You can definitely see the difference in acidity, and 16 still has solid roast character, but not quite as harsh as 17. So I would say that 16 is the between the non-barrel aged version. 16 would be the winner for me. To me, the one I like the most is the whiskey barrel aged, which is funny because when I remember vividly when we drank this there, I was like, well, the whiskey barrel didn't improve this.
Yeah.
But after it's gone a year, that's the one I like the best out of the group.
I remember drinking it at the brewery at the release party event with you, Justin. And I remember feeling like that the barrel aging didn't really add anything very appreciable to the Imperial Stout at the time of drinking it. So I agree with you there, but like I definitely get vanilla notes, and maybe it was because I was drinking this without having the
Its counterpart.
base 2015 to sample it against. So I was going off of memory. So because the this came out in February or whatever it was, and it's also 2015 Black Friday, so it's not like I had anything to really compare it to. So I was going off of memory, and I was like, yeah, it tastes like Black Friday to me. Like,
yeah, I definitely I experienced the same kind of thing with when we first opened it, that I hadn't had one in probably since this time last year.
right.
So when 2017, when I started sipping on 2017, I was like, this is what it is, man. This is how it's supposed to taste. This is great. I like this. But definitely the bourbon barrel one is a nice addition, but again, I'm going to repeat myself that the 2016 is probably my winner for the day. I think it's kind of it is the most balanced of all four.
I think a good idea would be we might as well rank them in terms of what we like. So I'm going to go from bottom to top.
So number 4.
Number 4, it would be 15. There's definitely some acidity in there. It's still very drinkable, and there's a little bit of roastiness left to it. So that would be the 4th. The 3rd one is going to be the 2017, and that's like, I feel bad saying 3 because it's still
Right.
still
Oh yeah.
fantastic. I have a bunch of those cans left. They're definitely going to get drank.
Yeah, I have 3 at home. I'm not sad about that at all.
Right. Then it would be the 2016, and then it would be the 2015 whiskey barrel.
Okay. How about you, Mark?
I'm gonna agree and say the base 2015 would be number 4. I don't know. Then it gets hard.
I agree.
Oh, it's definitely a tough ranking here. And we are splitting hairs, but that's kind of why we wanted to do this, because we wanted to be able to see the real differences between them.
I guess I would then put 2017 at number 3. Then barrel aged 2015, and then finally 2015.
2016. You mean.
2016.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna second Mark's rankings there. I like the 2016 just a little bit better than the barrel aged 15, but just because the creaminess of that really persistent head was something that I enjoyed adding to the beer. That didn't really occur with the rest of them, but it's something that I think really adds well to the beer. And on the few occasions that I've had it elsewhere, that I've had it on tap and things like that, having that is really nice.
Yeah, I agree. Now, when we did that episode 15 with the year-end extravaganza, I love that fucking word, extravaganza.
Extravaganza.
We rated this on we rated the 2016 on our standard scale. I thought might be cool if we rated 2017 on our standard scale and compared it to what we had for 2016 then.
Okay. Well, I will say 2017 is a growler for me.
Okay.
Pretty solid.
Yes.
Okay.
Then I can drink half the growler and make waffles with the rest.
You said the same fucking
probably
thing
the
last year.
word for word, the exact same thing.
I also just poured all of my 4 samples together into one glass, and it's pretty damn good.
All right. Well, I have enough left to do the same thing.
I already finished one of mine, so maybe I'll do that with the other 3.
So anyway, just to recap, last year Mark had a growler.
He had a blended. Mark has a blended one now.
I had a growler, and Kevin had rated a bomber. So now we're at a hat trick, all growlers. And I'm pretty sure for 2016 we would all be growlers as well.
Yeah, I would stick with this as a growler as well, even for the 16. Just because it is such a strong flavor that it couldn't be the beer that I get to every single day that I want a keg, but it is a fantastic beer.
It's definitely something that I look forward to acquiring every year.
Yeah.
Mixed together, I had pretty equal amounts left of all of them. Mixed together, tastes like the whiskey barrel one. Mostly because the whiskey barrel is a very strong flavor. I am a huge fan of this beer. I know they're going to keep making it. I don't care if they call it White Friday. I don't give a shit what they call it.
Yeah.
I'll be there especially for the waffles. And now that Mark is going to not have any more kids, he's probably still going to be traveling out to Ohio.
I'm going to be in Ohio again next year. So.
But I will be attending every Black Friday that I can, and then getting properly lubed up to visit the Tanger outlets.
I unfortunately usually have to work on Black Friday, so I'm sure I'll be continuing to work. But
I'll be continuing to be the mule.
But as long as I have my East End mules to bring me beer, I'm going to be happy.
No doubt.
If you enjoyed Beertastic Voyage, please be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and don't forget to review and rate us. The guys can be found online at www.beertasticvoyage.com, on Facebook at www.facebook.com/beertasticvoyage, and Twitter and Instagram at Beertastic Show, or send them a good old-fashioned email at beertasticvoyage@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and cheers for local beers.